The modern battlefield is saturated with drones. In recent conflicts, we've watched massive, low-cost swarms fill the sky, deployed specifically to exhaust and overwhelm enemy air defense systems through sheer volume. But look closely at the hardware most regional powers deploy, like these truck-mounted Burrock models. These represent the legacy standard of UAVs. They are either remotely piloted, rely on a central computer, or operate as pre-programmed suicide munitions. That architecture carries a fatal structural flaw. The entire network relies on a single point of failure, whether that's a continuous GPS link, a mothership, or a vulnerable command center transmitting instructions to the fleet. When an adversary activates heavy electronic warfare and severs that central connection, those machines lose their guidance. The swarm instantly degrades from a coordinated threat into a scattered cloud of blind, disconnected liabilities. You cannot secure air supremacy if a single severed link can ground your entire strike force. To solve that exact vulnerability, India's Defense Research and Development Organization, the DRDO, is engineering the Ghatak Unmanned Combat Aerial Vehicle. To understand what the Ghatak is, you have to look at the global shift toward heavy, jet-powered UCAVs, like this Bayraktar Kizil Alma. Military aviation is moving far beyond lightweight quadcopters and expendable munitions. The Ghatak is a 13-ton jet-powered stealth aircraft. It is designed to evade radar detection and carry heavy payloads deep into highly contested airspace. Crucially, it is not a one-way suicide drone. It is built to execute precision strikes, survive the engagement, and return to base, exactly like a piloted fighter jet. But the physical hardware is only half the story. India is designing these massive aircraft to link together in flight, completely removing the control room in favor of a decentralized, self-governing artificial intelligence. Imagine 20 of these stealth jets crossing into hostile airspace simultaneously. The first thing defending forces will do is attempt to jam satellite signals and cut off external communications. For the Ghatak, that tactic fails because there is no human operator to cut off. Instead of routing data through space, the swarm uses secure internal radio links. The onboard supercomputer inside each drone communicates directly and continuously with every other drone in the formation. By sharing flight data locally, they can calculate trajectories at superhuman speeds. This allows a fleet of 13-ton jets to fly in tight, unpredictable formations without colliding. Because the intelligence is distributed evenly across every single unit, there is no master node for an enemy to target. This decentralized architecture renders the swarm highly resistant to standard electronic jamming. Now, consider a combat casualty. Let's say the swarm is approaching an enemy base, and a surface-to-air missile successfully destroys a Ghatak that was specifically tasked with eliminating a defense radar. In a legacy swarm, the loss of that specific unit means its assigned objective is scrubbed, the radar stays active, and the broader mission suffers. The Ghatak network operates differently. The moment a drone goes dark, the collective AI instantly detects the gap in the mission parameters. It calculates a new strategy in milliseconds without waiting for human intervention. The system evaluates the positions and payloads of the surviving aircraft. Then, the nearest available drone automatically breaks from its previous pattern to take over the destroyed unit's exact objective. It stops functioning like a fleet of rigid machines. Instead, it reacts like a biological organism, dynamically healing its own network and adapting to chaotic losses in real time. That level of autonomous coordination allows the swarm to divide labor, separating it completely from the brute force, saturation attacks of cheap suicide drones. Within a single formation, you have highly specialized roles. Some units execute electronic jamming to blind the enemy sensors. Others push forward as scouts to uncover hidden missile silos. They instantly feed precise coordinates back to designated bomber drones, which drop heavy munitions where needed. This dynamic task sharing effectively fuses 20 individual airframes into a single, hyper-intelligent combat entity. Air warfare is rapidly moving away from human-piloted formations into a space dominated by autonomous, self-thinking combat networks. India is engineering the Ghatak specifically for the most dangerous operations imaginable, penetrating and dismantling heavily fortified air defense shields that would easily destroy a standard fighter jet. When a military can deploy 13-ton stealth bombers that adapt, communicate, and react faster than human cognition, it forces neighboring nations to entirely rebuild their defense strategies. Against adversaries relying on the rigid, centralized drone technology of the last decade, an autonomous swarm architecture presents a severe tactical mismatch. The battlefield is evolving. Artificial intelligence has progressed from simple data analysis into direct tactical command. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.